Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lizzie Homakale and welcome back guys. So please don't forget to subscribe, like and comment on my videos, and thank you so much for those who subscribe. And I'm gonna be doing a story time again, so my husband is joining me. Okay baby, introduce yourself.
Hey guys, got what is it? Is it requested? Yeah, got requested again to be part of this video. Story time again. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. So we want to talk about Zanzibar, like traveling to Zanzibar during COVID and our travel experience during COVID. So yeah babe.
Yeah, so I don't know, is it traveling during COVID? I mean, it's post-pandemic now.
Yeah, it's
So I think like rather
post-pandemic.
maybe just like our
Yeah,
Zanzibar
story
story.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Should I start or you want to
you
start?
can start babe.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so 2020, just on my first year of study, we work at Joburg. So we decided that we want to go to Flight Center.
Flight center.
Yeah, we went to Flight Center and we bought a trip. We bought a trip to Zanzibar for the both of us. That was in the beginning of 2020, probably February.
February.
Yeah, probably somewhere there, February. COVID had started, but it was nowhere near Africa. At that time, I think everyone was thinking, nah, this is an Asian thing. I think it's the time when it was still really in China only, you know. Then we're meant to travel in May. We're not meant to travel in May, for
my
your
birthday. Yeah, so my birthday is on the 28th of May. So we like meant to travel during that week, I think. The Saturday of that week, yeah, of the 28th.
Yeah, so we're gonna travel in around the week of your birthday. So you know, COVID started all around. You know, I think after Asia, Europe was the one that was second hit the most. Then eventually, you know, we had those 10 people who I think they said they were from Italy, in South Africa. Then one after the other. The next thing, March, April, we're going into lockdowns and everything. And of course, you know, traveling across the border was prohibited at the time, so we couldn't travel. In 2020, so we had to travel in 2021. Yeah, when COVID has subsided a bit, but still there was still so much restriction as to where you can travel to, the requirements when you travel. So we literally traveled during the pandemic. The time when we got it to the at the airport or Artambo at Joburg, it was literally a ghost area. There was no one. So I remember the requirement at the time was that okay, you need to, vaccine was not even in the picture at the time. The requirement was that you need to have a 72-hour PCR test done before arriving to Zanzibar, you know. So we did our.
So baby, don't you wanna tell them what happened before going to Zanzibar? Or we paid our trip was fully paid and we had to book with another airline.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it was crazy. A lot of things happened actually during COVID. So we were meant to fly with Mango Airways. I'm sure you guys might remember Mango Airways. You know, it used to be a competitor for Fly Safair. So it had an international destination, which of course was Zanzibar. So for our trip package that we purchased with Flight Center, so we're meant to fly with Mango Airlines. In between 2020 and 2021, Mango went into business rescue and they put a pause on operations. You know, even up to today, in 2022, they're still on business rescue, they're still not running. So Flight Center was like, to us, unfortunately, we're not able to accommodate you guys onto any other flight.
That's why it's important, guys, to have a travel insurance, because I know people who like have travel insurance. I'm sure they were able to pay for them using another airline. So guys, like, we didn't have like a travel insurance. That's what happened with us.
Yeah. So because we didn't have the travel insurance, Flight Center was like, sorry guys, we can't pay for you another flight, unfortunately. You need to either choose between Ethiopian Airline and Kenya Airways, which were the two airlines which were really flying into Zanzibar at the time. So the agent from Flight Center actually suggests that we do Kenya Airways because Kenya is actually just about an hour from Zanzibar, and in
yeah.
a way, it was gonna give us the one with was it 8 hour, 9 hour layover,
Layover
so
to
we can spend
Nairobi.
some day at Nairobi, because if you have a South African passport, you don't even need a visa to get into Nairobi. So yeah, that's what happened. So we went on and we purchased the ticket with Kenya Airways. I think it was around 10.7,
10.7.
11K,
And guys,
somewhere
mind
there.
you, no, we didn't get our refund from Mango.
Yeah.
So we had to like pop money from our pocket and pay another airline.
Yeah, so Mango didn't do any refunds. Flight Center, of course, they
Yeah.
didn't do any refunds. But it was within the contract that we had with Flight Center.
Yeah.
So on the contract, it was stated there that, okay, basically Flight Center is just a facilitator, but they don't necessarily take liability in terms of like things like those if they happen. That's why it's always important to have like a travel insurance and all those type of things. Yeah. Where was I?
You were like purchasing the tickets.
Oh yes, yeah. So we purchased the tickets, and now we're ready to go. Of course, So 3 days before we go, 72 hours before we go, we did a PCR test with Lancet. We did with Lancet. I think it's at Auckland Park. I think that area is Auckland
It's
Park, not
Auckland
Parktown.
Park,
Yeah, but it's like when you're driving from Parktown going towards Auckland Park, SABC side. Yeah, so we did our PCR test there, and yeah, that was it. We were ready to go. We go to the airport. When we go to the airport, um, our connecting flight from Kenya to Zanzibar was cancelled,
It
or
was
postponed
cancelled.
rather.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was cancelled.
because we were supposed to leave from Nairobi. Okay, so this what was supposed to happen. So we're supposed to leave South Africa midnight at around 12 o'clock
12
and land at Nairobi in the morning. Then
9
spend the
o'clock.
whole morning.
Yeah.
Spend the whole morning in Nairobi. Then around 5, 6 in the evening, we travel to Zanzibar. So that flight from Nairobi to Zanzibar was postponed to the following morning. And by so doing, we've done our COVID test a little bit much more earlier.
Yeah.
So by
So when we get to Nairobi, our PCR
would have
was
expired.
expired.
Yes,
Yeah.
So by the time we go to Nairobi, the time we go to Nairobi, the PCR would have been fine. But by the time we had to board in the
Into
evening,
Zanzibar.
we would have been past 72 hours. Yeah. So I don't know what those guys are called, but yeah, the guys who let's call them the queue marshals for argument's sake.
Flights.
Yeah, the queue marshal for Kenya was like, no guys, with the PCR like this, you better remain in South Africa, sort out your issues, because I can guarantee you, if you get to Nairobi and your PCR has expired before you travel to Zanzibar, you won't be able to do it within the vicinity
and
of the
the thing
airport.
about like this problem, what am I saying? This country is like South Africa. You're able to do your PCR at the airport, but with Kenya, like you have to go out of the airport to the nearest clinic, and that guy told us already the clinic was like an hour away from the airport, so that's the problem. So yeah, continue, babe.
Yeah, so now it's in the evening, it's around 10 o'clock, we're waiting for a midnight flight to Nairobi. Then the guy says that, it's like, no, I can't allow you guys to board. I can't allow you guys to board and go be stuck at Nairobi. He actually even called some guys that side of Nairobi. They were like, nah, there's no way they can be able to do PCR within the vicinity, which will be available before their flight in the evening of that night.
Yeah.
So we had to, of
we
course, not
called our
depart.
agent and our agent tried to talk with the guy. Oh no, it's our first international trip, let us in the plane. But like now, like thinking about it, like our agent, I don't know what our agent was thinking, honestly, babe. Imagine if like the guy let us in the plane and we get there and we got stuck.
Yeah,
you see, so
yeah, but
that was gonna be another problem.
But also, maybe not to necessarily fault the agent that much also, because Zanzibar, Tanzania. So Tanzania, they would like a little bit of like different regulations from Zanzibar. So Zanzibar Tanzania is the parent company, of course. Then on Tanzania, you got Dar es Salaam, which is the mainland. Then they've got Zanzibar, which is the island part. So Dar es Salaam, even now, the last time I checked, you do PCR on arrival. And at Zanzibar, they don't. So I think like our agent also got things a little bit messed up in between that, and they assumed that, okay, no, Zanzibar actually, you don't even need
PCR.
PCR and all those things. But when we check on the site, we're like, oh no, they actually need, that's why we're done our PCR and everything. Yeah, so now it's in the evening around 11 o'clock
11
now, after
o'clock.
negotiating and everything. Mind you, this was the time where we still have curfew. Curfew was 10 o'clock at the time, so you were not allowed to be moving around after 10 o'clock. So now we're stuck at the airport. You can't drive home. Of course, we came with the Uber. I think we took an Uber to Saint-Anne. From Saint-Anne, we took the Gau train and all that. So now we're stuck at the airport. You can't go back because there's no transport or anything like that, you know. So we had to find a hotel. Lucky enough, we found a hotel at the airport. What was the name of that
Did we
hotel?
use booking.com?
We
It was
went
a
directly.
City Lodge hotel,
Yeah,
guys.
City Lodge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went to City Lodge Hotel. I think it was about
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. Yeah, somewhere there per night. Not including breakfast, of course. It wasn't including
It
breakfast.
was not including anything.
Yeah. So we went to the hotel. We slept at the hotel there. City Lodge at the airport. It's just at the airport, literally just a minute away from the airport. Like when you walk out from the hotel, you're already walking into like the shops within the airport and everything. Yeah, then we woke up in the morning, you know, we're looking for a place where we can do PCR test within the vicinity, because there's no way we're going to go back to Auckland Park, Lansed. Yeah, so we found this other one. It's called Pathcare.
But before finding a Pathcare, babe, we went to
NHLS, yeah, the national one. Yeah. We went to NHLS and we're looking for the one, what do they call them? Express. We're looking for express COVID test, the one we should do the test now and to get the results within like about 2 hours, maybe 4 hours at a max. Yeah, NHL was like, no, there's no way we can be able to get it ready that quickly, you know. Yeah, you guys might have to wait for like about a day or two. And that time the airline have made arrangement for us to do the PCR test, which we're gonna be the express one. Not the made arrangement. They allowed for us to be accommodated on the flight for the next evening, or rather for the next day, after we got the COVID test and everything. So when NHL is like, oh no, we can't do the test, like, okay, we're getting screwed up now. Then within the airport, there was Pathcare. We go to Pathcare, and luckily they had the COVID testing for express.
Yeah, yo guys, it was so expensive. I think we paid 2,200 each.
It was more than that.
It was more than that.
Yeah, I think it was like 2.4.
Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, yeah.
It was like 2.4, 2.5 per person. Yeah, so basically we paid around 5K.
5K for both of us.
Yeah, for the both of us, for the COVID test at the time.
Because going back home, it was not an option, because we already like spent a lot of money to be at the airport, you know.
Besides being at the airport, remember, so initially the trip was like a package with Flight Center, with Mango Airline. And right now, you know, you have paid a trip again, you know, like around 10.7 to 11K with a different airline. So you have just spend so much, it must just happen. You must just continue spending until it happens. There was just no turning back, because they don't even give you a refund. Like even up to today with Mango, they don't gonna give out anyone refund. Anyone who had a ticket
like
valid.
10.11.
Yeah, it was 10 point something, somewhere there, just under 11. Yeah. Even up to today, people who are supposed to fly with Mango, 2020 going to 21, all of them are still owed by Mango. They say when the business rescue is done and when the airlines start flying again, then we're gonna get like the vouchers to fly. So let's see what happens. Maybe when Mango resume, whenever the year that is, we're gonna have like 10K to 11K voucher, and we can travel domestically or to wherever they will be flying to at the time. So yeah, I guess it's not that bad. But yeah, back to where we were. Where were we?
We were at taking Pathcare.
Oh yes, Pathcare. Yeah. So there's this little laboratory at the airport. It's called Pathcare. You know. Yeah. So they charged us like what is that?
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Now I'm just gonna. Yeah.
I apologize. Yeah. So they charged us around 2.4, 2.5 grand. So already now you're going on a trip and you're already like what, 6.5 grand below what maybe you would have budgeted for. You know, because already we spent around 1.4, 1.5 at the hotel. We spent around 5,000 rand on the COVID test. So basically, from what we planned to spend at the end on this travel, we're already 6.4, 6.5 below, you know, our budget. So it was crazy. But I mean, the following day came. Oh, okay. Actually, we did the
The
test.
same
Two
day,
hours.
yeah.
We got the results, and I remember after doing the test, I was so scared. I was so scared because I mean, we work in the hospital, so to a certain degree, you're a little bit exposed to higher chances
Of getting COVID,
of getting
yeah.
COVID. I remember after doing the test, we went I think to Bin by the airport. Yeah, and it was like,
Yeah.
yo,
We
the
were so
results
scared
better be
because also,
negative.
guys, I
Mm.
think I had like cold symptoms. I
Yeah.
had flu that time. So
Mm.
yeah, I think my husband was more scared that I will test
Yes,
positive.
I was more worried for because I mean,
Yeah.
even if one of us tests negative, then what happens if the other one tests positive? We're
Mm.
not gonna live. Yeah. So yeah, and they came out and they were both negative, and we waited for the evening. Then we boarded Kenya Airways. It was quite an amazing. It was quite an amazing ride, and I think we
Yeah.
flied with E190, so it's not the Boeings or
It's
Airbus. So it's
it's
the one
like
which have got like
Ambre.
just two
Is it
seats.
Ambre, babe?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, Umbre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Umbre E190.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like just two seats, then the aisle, then the other two seats. At least you don't get to have like middle seat and all the type of things. Then yeah, we traveled and we landed at Nairobi. It was at midnight as well. Yeah, so
Mm.
in the morning we landed at Nairobi. Nairobi was so beautiful. The landing was so smooth. Kenya Airways, top notch. Yeah,
Highly
they are good.
recommend.
Highly
Yeah.
recommend.
Mm.
Highly recommend. Um, so we landed Nairobi. Yo, their immigration is so strict. I remember they made us take off like
Take off
our
everything, like the
yeah,
shoes, the socks, the
mm,
belt,
like
everything.
literally take off every single thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, a funny story. When we're at Nairobi, so I mean it's our first time traveling internationally, so we don't know how connecting flights work and
Works,
all those
yeah.
things. So we there. We landed now. We at the airport. We're waiting for our connecting flight from Nairobi to Zanzibar. Of course, by this time now, we lost on that value of okay, we're gonna have a long layover. So just when we landed, I think we had about an hour and a half
An hour and a
before
half,
we
yeah.
cross over to Zanzibar.
Mm.
So we don't know about this thing of connecting flights. So we're
We're
going
looking for
around.
our luggage.
We were looking for the luggage.
That was that was so
Yeah.
funny,
And
yo.
it's crazy because you see like the overhead speakers at the airport in Nairobi, they speak in Swahili and they also interpret in English or they speak in both languages.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's predominantly Swahili. Even when you greet people there, they greet in Swahili, jambo and all those Swahili
Keredu.
terms.
Kana keredu is welcome, ne? Is it
It's not
welcome?
Kuredu.
What is that?
Karibu. Karibu.
Karabu.
Karibu. Karibu.
Karibu.
Yeah,
Okay.
Karibu means welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kuredu, I think that's a resort somewhere. I don't know, it's a resort, I think somewhere Maldives or something
Yeah.
like that. Hey, yeah, so we go around the airport, we're looking for our bags, until this one lady there by the airport is like, no, you don't need to get your bags if you're moving if you're connecting to the other country. Your bags will be moved automatically to the other flight. Yeah, it was so
It
crazy,
was so crazy and
funny,
embarrassing, guys.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's what happens, when you're doing something for the first time. Then yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we connected to Zanzibar. Zanzibar was amazing.
It was so beautiful, guys. I think if you have a chance, like go to Zanzibar and also check Flight Center. They have like cheap packages for Zanzibar. So yeah.
Mostly
And
during.
initially, guys, we wanted to go to Thailand. Yeah, we
Mm.
wanted to go to Thailand,
Yeah.
and I don't know why we changed our mind there.
So so there was a time where everyone in South Africa was going to Thailand. So that was the time when we also wanted to go to Thailand. Like, oh wow, people go to Thailand. It looks so beautiful on pictures. Let's go see what's up there. Then we're like, okay, no, Thailand is too risky because COVID was already hitting China and they say the same continent, Asia and all those things. We're like, oh, okay, let's try Zanzibar. So yeah, we went to Zanzibar and Zanzibar was amazing. We landed there. It was very safe and everything. We stayed at Urawa Bay. Beach resort. We went there. They welcomed us. They give us some nice drinks. They propelled the bags to the rooms and everything. When you get there, so Zanzibar, it's a third world country. It's literally a third world country. So when you land at the airport, you won't be that much impressed. It's like, but the moment you get out of the airport, it's like you're in a village, but it's a city. It's a city or town. you know.
Yeah.
I think it's called it's Stone Town. I think that's
Stone
where the
Town.
airport is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we landed at Stone Town, and I remember we were on the transfer car, and I was like, is this what we really have to went through for? You know, I wasn't impressed until we
Not
get
at
to the
all.
resort.
Not at all. Yeah.
Like the development is very bad. The roads have got so much potholes, very narrow. You know, so it's a little bit behind compared to, for example, your Kenya, so South Africa, and all that.
But it's very safe, guys. I
Yes.
remember when we got there, our driver stopped and he left the key on the
He actually left
thing.
the car running.
Yeah. And he went to get us water, and we were worried, or hey, what if someone comes, you know, and they steal the car or something? But yeah, it's so safe.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
we drove for around, I mean, he drove us for around maybe 40 minutes to 1 hour. And I was getting worried now. Like, okay, you know, you're just driving across what looks like villages and you're not getting there. Then we got there at Urawa Bay Beach Resort and it was
It
amazing.
was
It was so,
amazing,
so, so
guys.
beautiful.
It was so beautiful. But honestly, I was not happy. Like the Orowa village is so bad, guys. So bad. Like what you see. What did we see when we went to Orowa, babe? The cows. Like it's a
Yeah,
rural
it's like a
area.
typical village. It's like you're
Village.
driving in the
Yeah.
rural, I mean, the Bavenda. So it's like Ugo driver. It's like you're driving on the rural part of Venda or Eastern Cape. If you've been to Eastern Cape and all that, oh, I'm sure everyone has probably seen pictures of rural Eastern Cape and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually at Drakensberg now. We can just turn this around to give you a bit of a view. We're actually at Drakensberg now. So because we are here, we just thought, oh, okay, you remember what we went through when we were at when we go to Zanzibar? Maybe let's just share the story and let's see what's up. Yeah. So yeah, we arrived there. It was still during COVID, so there were really not a lot of people at the resort. So instead of having buffet every day, they were having country dishes on a daily basis. I remember the day we
So
arrived.
when we got there, it was South African meals like vors, pap, gravy, cabbage. Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah, so what they do it is for every day of the week, they choose a dish or like rather dishes of a certain country. So I think the day we arrived,
It
it
was
was a
South
South African
African
dinner.
dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had like all these
And
nice
yeah,
things.
the next day it was Indian dinner.
Nonsense.
No, baby, don't say that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the
Yeah.
food was maybe not nonsense, but I mean it's food that I don't eat. You
Yeah,
get
it
it?
was bad,
Yeah.
guys, honestly.
And
Yeah.
basically from there it just kept on being bad and bad and bad, you know. And we had paid for, you know, we had like half board, you know, breakfast and dinner and all that. So we basically just got screwed from a dinner perspective, because I think we had South African dinner, Indian dinner, Arabic dinner, Italian dinner, but the pizzas were not that great.
Yeah, I think
Honestly,
Mexican also.
yeah, the pizzas weren't that great. The food there wasn't really, you know, it wasn't really that great. They tried this other evening, they had Italian dinner. Yeah, and I was expecting to get like some maybe very nice pizzas, but the meats that they use there is not like a typical
It's like
meat.
soya means.
Yeah, it's like soya meats.
Yeah.
But when you ask people there, they tell you that because it's an island, they really struggle with getting like, you know, proper meat. That's why things are like expensive in terms of like your
Because
beef,
I remember like we
chicken.
tried to order like at the other restaurant and we were looking for chicken, but we couldn't find one. So only to find out the name of the chicken, they call it diavola, right? Babe? Am I right?
Yeah, diavola.
Yeah, diavola. So yeah, that's when we found out actually they have a chicken. So yeah.
So yeah, that's the story of dinner, you know. So we really didn't enjoy the dinner that much because
was
of that
so
whole
bad.
thing of doing dishes. I think it was only towards weekend. Yeah, towards weekend. We had a lot of people coming through to the hotel, checking in that Saturday. Then because there were enough like head count within the resort, they decided, oh, okay, they're gonna do buffet for that day, and that's really the day where we got to eat better food after having the South African dinner. Everything that happened in between there
So
was
bad.
the food wasn't so great. And also Zanzibar have so many South Africans visiting.
Yeah, there were a
like
lot.
almost 70% maybe.
70% of
Of the people there were South African.
Africans.
Yeah, the next thing, oh, you hear someone speaking like the South African languages. Oh, okay,
You're
sure.
from
Where do you
South
come from?
Africa.
No load shedding, you know. You just hear even by the whispers in the corner, hey, finally we escape load shedding and all that type of thing. So yeah, that was our story of like how we left South Africa, arrived at Zanzibar and everything. No, so now we're in Zanzibar. We had planned to do some tours. We planned to do like a few tours. Go to Stone Town. On a tour.
We wanted to do everything, guys. We wanted to do everything, but on our first day, we just like, you know what? Let's just like relax, get used to the resort, and just enjoy ourselves. And tomorrow, we're gonna go on a tour. So what we did, what you do, what do we call those tour guys, babe?
No, so basically we wanted, before we go there, we checked like all the places we want to go to. So we wanted to go to Stone Town Tour. We wanted to do Prison Island. We wanted to do Safari Blue.
We wanted
We were
to
in
do,
between whether or not we should do
yeah, we wanted to do
Nakupenda.
Nungwe,
Yes,
swimming
wanted to
with the
do Nongwe, swimming with the
yeah,
tortoise, and that popular
and Kai
restaurant.
Beach. I wanted to go to
Yes,
Kai
Kai
Beach,
Beach for the
yeah,
parties and
yeah.
all those things. So yeah, when you're there, that's one bad thing about Zanzibar. Like when you're there, basically chilling by there.
Sorry about
When you're
that.
there, chilling by the beach, there are these guys always trying to sell you something. They can sell you anything, from tours to the most illegal thing you can think of. They have it just outside your beach.
Yeah.
I mean, just outside, just by the beach, just outside your resort. Yeah. So there was this other guy. His name is Yaya. He's quite amazing.
We
This
are still
company
close
is called.
even now.
We still talk even now.
Yeah.
I probably spoke to you maybe 2-3 weeks ago. Yeah. His company is called Explorers Tower. You can check it out. I know he has it on TripAdvisor. He has it on TripAdvisor, so people can be able to do like some what do you call this thing when people review, so people can be able to do reviews. So yeah, he took us to some tours. He took us to Stone Town, Prison Island, Safari Blue, and all that. The first one was very beautiful, So we go to Stone Town, but we don't tour Stone Town first. He take us to Prison Island. So Prison Island is an island which they say they used to keep slaves back in the day, during like the slave trade times and all those things. Prison Island was beautiful. It was amazing. So you got there with a dough boat, like those wooden boats. Yeah, so you basically got there with the dough boat, the wooden boat. And it was nice because it's the first time on the dough boat. Honestly, it doesn't feel so comfortable as a first timer. It feels like it's the surface of the water is just so close to the top of the boat, in a way, if I can put it that way.
The water can get inside.
Yeah, the water can get inside, technically. Yeah, so it didn't feel so comfortable. But I mean, it was just 20 minutes, honestly, from Stone Town to Prison Island. So it didn't really feel that bad. We get to Prison Island, he take us through everything, the tortoises that are like 200 years old, wara. So after the Prison Island tower, then we go to Stone Town. It's a walking tower. Yo, it's so tiring.
It's so tiring, honestly, guys.
Yeah.
I feel like Zanzibar, it's a place where you can go with your friends and just tour, It's, you can relax at Zanzibar.
Yeah, you can. I mean, there were people relaxing
Yeah.
in our hotel. There are people. I remember we met this other couple from Cape Town. They were honestly just at the resort drinking and nothing, drinking and nothing, drinking, sleep, drinking, eat, sleep, and that's basically all they did at the resort, which also is beautiful because you get to relax. Because sometimes this thing of being too busy at the resort, you come back home
and you are tired from your vacation.
you want to rest. Yeah. So yeah, Stone Town was a walking tour. We walked for about an hour. Then we went to eat at this other restaurant. It's called Lukman Restaurant. Lukman. But Lisiko didn't like it. Yeah, I love the food. I feel like the food was nice, but I know you didn't like it. Yeah, I remember I had some long grain rice. It tastes a little bit different from like the rice that we eat here in South Africa. Your steak, your speckles, and all that. Then I had it with fish. Yeah, I had it with fish, a different type of a fish. Yeah, that was so nice. The following day, we decided that we want to do the most popular tour. It's called Safari Blue. That's where Nightmare began. That's where the nightmare began, and from that day, I didn't want to do any tour. So Safari Blue, they also call it a disappearing island.
Really?
Yeah, they call it a disappearing island.
Because you can only find that island during the day.
Yeah.
Like I think from in the morning to like about 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, I don't know.
Yeah.
Then it disappeared.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So it's a sandbank, So basically what happened is you are on the land side, You get into the boat, you drive all the way to the sandbank, which is somewhere in the middle of the ocean. So they say at night that sandbank gets so the tide gets so high then the sandbank gets submerged under the water, so you don't see it at all. Then during the day the sandbank appears. So they call it Disappearance Island. So because of that, it's a very popular destination or very popular tour in Zanzibar. So we're like, oh, let's go for it. We went for it. We went on the dough boat. We were quite a lot. We were a lot on that boat. We
And
were probably
also, guys,
almost 20.
we were only the black tourists in that boat.
Yes, there was not a lot of black people traveling at the time. I think also because of restrictions. A lot of people were so skeptical in between. Should we travel? Should we not? What if I test positive there? So a lot of uncertainties made people really like, okay, maybe let's go back so that you don't, you avoid spending money unnecessarily. Yeah. So we got to the boat, to the
Before
docking
getting
site.
into the boat, guys, we went to, I think it's Kwale Island.
Yes.
Like, we met these people, they were singing. I feel like that was the best moment for me.
Yeah. So Kwale Island is basically